excuse. Right, this is Neil from Barclays Litigation Department. I've just called you to understand where we stand in terms of the arrears on the account.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So before I go through the details, can you just give me the update on the arrears, because I can see that you're paying less than the contractual monthly payments. So
Well,
the account
that's not actually correct. So I was told that I could make ad hoc payments at my discretion by Barclays. And then you've decided to change some paperwork somewhere along the line to suit your own purposes again.
Right, I understand there's been a complaint log as part of issue, and it's been ruled out, and it was in the Barclays' favor. I'm calling you just to understand where we stand up to in terms of arrears, because it's with litigation and TLTs, the solicitors involved in the account.
Well, so first of all, shall I give you a summary? It makes it quicker and easier rather than you trying to fumble through a story that Barclays, that your employer has concocted.
Yes, go on, please.
Okay. 2009, I was nearly killed at work. Once I was able to walk again, speak again, I spoke to Barclays. I explained the situation. Barclays said, "Oh my God, we will help you." And then within 72 hours, Barclays Bank debanked me, switched off all of my accounts and took away a very small business overdraft that we had, stranding me abroad. And it made it very difficult to pay anyone, including Barclays. Then Barclays were ramped up in the excess of £100,000 in mortgage debt, because Barclays left the contract with me, vacated the contract, and then claimed that they were still in a contract with me, and said that I was liable for this money, which I couldn't pay because I didn't have a bank account, because Barclays had closed the bank account. And we've been fighting over that situation, a contract that was abandoned by Barclays for the last nearly 16 years. And that's it. That's the story.
Yeah, I understand, sir. But however, since there's an outstanding arrears and debt...
How was the debt caused? Who caused the debt? Was it me? No, it's Barclays, because Barclays abandoned the contract with me.
So as far as I can see that you have gone to the ombudsman about this case, and they have ruled out in Barclays' favor.
No, they haven't actually. The ombudsman's recommendation was that we should negotiate, and they ruled in favour of me, and I was paid £500 by Barclays by way of compensation for poor and terrible service. So it doesn't really rule in the favour of Barclays if you've had to pay me, does it?
So about that issue, which has already been solved, so what we have to look into it is that the arrears at the moment, I totally understand.
How were the arrears caused? Who caused the arrears?
However, you will be entitled to pay the contractual monthly payment.
How did the arrears? How were the arrears caused? Were the arrears caused because Barclays Bank debanked me, or how were the arrears caused?
So definitely we did not close any of your mortgage account. It is very you can see
so
that.
You closed, all right, my personal account, my business account, and the mortgage account is linked to those. By closing the access point that I have to money, where I can be paid salary or expenses or anything like that, it affects my mortgage account. You're splitting hairs. How were the arrears caused, and who closed my accounts?
I'm not sure about that, sir, but it's definitely why I have called you is that it's purely to do with the mortgage. So what I assume is that the customers must be aware about their mortgage, since the house is their priority. So if in case at this moment, if you don't come to any kind of arrangement or agreement, so I'm not telling you that we're going to repossess the house overnight, but at this moment, if you don't agree any kind of arrangement with us,
I have made an agreement. May I finish? I have made an agreement with Barclays. Barclays agreed that I could make ad hoc payments. Ad hoc means as best as I can, bearing in mind Barclays debanked me in the first place. Barclays caused the debt, and Barclays stands or wishes to benefit from the misery it has heaped upon my family for the last 15 plus years. I've made 3 offers to settle this matter. which I suggest you look up. It would stand in Barclays' interest to settle this matter, because, well, obviously, you caused the problem. I didn't cause the problem.
Yeah, I understand, but this
I don't think
complaint
you
has
do.
already been raised, and this complaint has already been logged, and this complaint has already gone to the FOS, that is the Financial Ombudsman.
No,
So
it has
everything
not.
has been ruled off. There is
No,
a
it has
final
not.
decision from the Financial Ombudsman. So
No,
talking about
I'm
the
terribly
same
sorry.
thing
I'm
does not
terribly.
give a
May I
solution to
finish?
this problem, sir.
May I finish? This matter has
Of
not
course.
been resolved because the Ombudsman's recommendation was to negotiate, and Barclays has never once acknowledged any of the 3 offers I've made to settle. Okay?
Right.
Right.
Okay. To settle this matter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you certain suggestions. What we can do is we can go through an income and expenditure, and we can see what is your monthly disposable income. Based on that, maybe we can agree an arrangement on your arrears, depending upon the higher management approval. So
But
which
this
will
is what
clear
has
out
happened
some arrears
before.
and which will stop the litigation activity.
I'm terribly sorry. Again, I'm going to have to interrupt you because this has been done. It's done pretty much every year. I've been through this process probably 15 times now. Right? The Ombudsman recommended negotiations, not an expenditure form, not it is my fault. It is a fault. The fault lies equally potentially between Barclays and myself. And negotiation is a 2-way street. I've made 3 offers to settle this matter. Barclays chooses to ignore my offers. So first of all, Barclays needs to answer what it is the counter offer. It is not here. This is your income expenditure form. Pay the money, or we'll take your house away. Because you've tried that 3 times and it didn't go very well. So answer the question: Who caused the arrears by the act of debanking? Was it me, or was it Barclays Bank? Who's your boss? Actually, I mean, you must have a boss. Who's your boss?
So I understand your grievance, but it's not with mortgages, you see. So I'm a specialist in mortgages. I'm in the litigation department.
Yes, I
Anything
know. I
related to
appreciate
mortgage,
you.
definitely can.
I appreciate you're with the litigation department. Trust me, I've been in this process with Barclays Bank for 15 years. You know, Barclays Bank as an entity, you know, you have to understand, it's, as far as I'm concerned, I couldn't give a stuff who you are within Barclays Bank. You could be, you know, the person in charge to whom I have written and I've made the offer to settle this matter. But Barclays Bank chooses to ignore, chooses to extend the pain and suffering it causes to me, and chooses to enrich itself at my misery without answering my questions. Who debanked me and how did it happen?
Yeah, I bought a different product. I'm not the best person to.
Well, could you
give
get
advice.
someone who is the best person to explain how if it isn't in my interest to be debanked? How is it in my interest to have a contract with Barclays Bank that Barclays Bank chooses to break, yet tries to hold me liable for? Could you explain that one?
So, if in case I can ask you one more question, please.
Go on then.
So deactivating those accounts, which I'm not really aware about, I can see that in the complaint, but I don't know the root cause. So how does that make you pay the mortgages? If you can answer that question.
Okay, well, right. So all my banking was with Barclays Bank. My salary from the company that I operated, whose business account was with Barclays Bank, everything came through Barclays Bank. Barclays Bank closed all of my accounts, all of my accounts, and my mortgage account disappeared for about a year because we couldn't access anything. And now Barclays says, oh yes, you're in arrears, we're going to take your house away, it's all your fault. I did not debank myself. Barclays Bank, as an entity, broke its contract with me, right? And caused this problem. And you have to understand it. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's some other people that work at Barclays Bank. Your colleagues have caused this problem, right? And they've effectively run away and choose not to answer the questions. The Ombudsman found in my favour that I have had very poor service from Barclays Bank. right? And said, well, you should negotiate. Negotiation's the way forward. Barclays Bank, your colleagues, choose to ignore, do not wish to negotiate with me. What they would rather do is make my life a misery and every month damage our credit rating. All I want to do is take my mortgage, what's left of it, away from Barclays. I am sick to death of dealing with your company. You've caused me enough pain, enough damage to last a lifetime. Thank you very much. So, as you're part of the litigations department, why don't you negotiate with me?
Right. Okay. Bear with me, sir. I'm just going to look into your complaint. So, do you have a final decision letter from the ombudsman?
Yeah, years and years ago, which said negotiate.
No. I'm asking about a recent complaint that he logged. So, what is the reason? So,
the recent complaint. Again, let me interrupt you. The most recent complaints cannot be looked at by the ombudsman, as the ombudsman says,
right.
As there we are, because they have been judged upon and were found in my favour, and the ombudsman recommended negotiations. Right?
No.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. You know, if anything, if you want to start lying again as a company, be my guest. You've already admitted to lying in my last phone call with you, and if you want me to, I can send you a copy of that recording, which you kindly sent to me. Barclays Bank admitted to lying. Right?
Right. So what I have in front of me is that the Ombudsman has confirmed this is not a complaint they can consider in line with the objection. As the company is no longer in existence, then the customer is not considered an eligible complaint.
Okay, right. The company in question is the company I operated, which is the company you debanked. I was the controlling shareholder of that company. Your company destroyed my company, which meant I could no longer be getting a salary from that company after I was nearly killed. So, you know, you have to understand the timeline in this matter. Your company destroyed your employer destroyed the business I operated that banked with Barclays.
Yeah, I understand. So in this matter, so you have already gone to the ombudsman. So ombudsmen are impartial, so it does not come up with the bank or the customer. They are impartial. So any kind of decisions they have given to yourselves, that would be an impartial decision. So
the impartial decision. The impartial decision was a recommendation to negotiate. That was the impartial decision. All right.
So maybe you would have done better. So
I have done. I've made 3 offers to settle this matter with Barclays Bank. Your employer, other people, not you, chooses not to negotiate.
No, so it's not about the mortgage, sir. So if you wanted to negotiate, you wanted to talk to the specific department with Barclays.
I have done.
That, but at this moment,
I have done.
Is that
I'm terribly sorry.
Because of this complaint, which has been lost years ago. So what happened is that now your house is at stake. So there's a risk of repossession.
I'm terribly sorry. I'm going to have to explain something else to you, right? And I have said this before, and Barclays didn't take it very well, because Barclays then banned me from your Facebook page. My house is at risk. You are right. My house is at risk from me basically renting a bulldozer and flattening it. Because if you don't want to negotiate with me, I will see to it you as a company don't get my house. And I'll stream that live to your Facebook page. The negotiation, right, is a two-way street. The Ombudsman said, we recommend you negotiate with each other because mutual trust and faith has been lost. Your company, in its first step, debanked me. I did not debank myself, right? And caused probably £200,000 to £300,000 worth of debt in my name when they said I no longer had a bank account. They broke the contract with me. And now Barclays wants to claim that a contract of some sort still exists. Yeah? Isn't it? That's the summary.
Yeah, I understand. So,
no, I don't think you do, madam.
Yeah, so...
No, I don't think you do. Who debanked me? Answer the first question. Who debanked me?
So you just you're asking the questions about a bank, about your company.
No, I'm asking who debanked me. You must be able to look on your record. There'll be a name of a person. If you look back in the files to October 2010, a person called me up and said that they had to act in the best interests of the bank in 2010. So look it up. And then I said, because you can get the audio recordings for that, I'm pretty sure, and I said, you're putting yourself in harm's way between me and the bank. At the moment, this is not a personal issue. Your bank has made a mistake. Please reinstate my accounts so I can continue working to get my salary, to pay all of the bills, all of the suppliers, and Barclays Bank. And he said, no, I have to act in the best interest of the bank. And I said, you're putting yourself in a direct collision course with me. I do not recommend that.
Okay, I understand, sir. So just to move forward from 2010, so from 2010 to 2024, may I know how are you maintaining your priority bills or other creditors? Are you self-employed or have you gone to work?
I can't work. I was made disabled in my accident when I was nearly killed. Okay, I ended up in a litigation for compensation for the injuries that happened to me. Barclays Bank debanked me. I could not pay my solicitor, and my £1 million compensation payout didn't get paid to me because Barclays Bank debanked me. Barclays Bank destroyed my business, destroyed my claim for compensation, destroyed my life, yes, and has brought me to the point where my wife was so badly affected she openly started talking about suicide. Barclays Bank drove her to that point. Barclays Bank drove me to the point where I walked to one of your branches because I could not afford to drive there, and I discussed it with the man, and he said, you haven't even got an account. You've never had a Barclays account. Barclays Bank hid my account details from their own employees. The Ombudsman found in my favour for poor service and recommended negotiations. Barclays chooses not to negotiate. Right? There we are.
From then on, sir, have you spoken with any kind of business banking? Because this is something really to do with business banking. Have you spoken to
Business
them
banking can't talk to me because apparently, according to business banking, I've never had an account. And they say everything is being handled by litigation, which is you. So why can you not answer any of my questions?
Right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is let me just have a look at this account in detail. Let me just talk to my managers about what we can do about that. So I'm pretty sure they're just going to tell the latest complaint has been resolved by the Ombudsman. So they're going to proceed with litigation. That's the only way forward.
The problem that you've the problem that you've got, as I have told you, right? Negotiation is the recommended path forward. Whatever money you spend in litigation, you will never recover because I'll see to it that you will not get the house. And I'll see to it that it is publicly known what your company has done to us. Right? It's a poor threat. You haven't answered my questions. I'll have to make a complaint about the fact that you personally, I didn't catch your name, I'm sorry, cannot answer my question. I mean, how on earth do you consider this is any form of customer service or litigation when you cannot put before me the evidence of how I was debanked?
So since it was done 2010, so we must run in detail about that. But you have already logged a complaint about that. It has been gone to the Financial Ombudsman.
And they found in my favour.
Yes. So this has not been done. It's been 15 years, sir. So
it has been 15 years.
You to ask about the mortgage and how you're going to repay. So it's been 15 years about this dispute.
Right. Your bank, right? I have made an offer to settle this in a really simplistic way. We wind the clock back to 2010 when your company debanked me. Whatever money I've given you against the mortgage from 2010 to 2024 is taken off the figure. Let's say it's £1,000, and the original figure was £1,000, and I've given you, let's say, £750. That leaves £250 as the magical mortgage figure. You have to tell me what it is, and I'll take it somewhere else. Because you don't want me as a customer, and I don't want you as a bank. But you won't let me go. You think that Barclays can have this magical hold over me. And it can't. It simply can't. Because what you've done, your company has done to me is utterly disgusting. I was nearly, I wish that the accident had actually killed me, because that would have been simpler to deal with. You've kept me in a state of being a hostage in my own home. Every time I try to change the mortgage, you change the goalposts. Your company changes the goalposts. And you drag me through mud and mire to try and get me to comply to your bullshitty rules that you make up as you go along. You've admitted lying. Barclays has admitted to lying. That's the starting point. Barclays can't answer how I was debanked. My offer to settle is as was, and if you look back through it, it's the same. It's the same thing. We go back to 2010. Whatever money I've given you gets taken off the mortgage. Whatever money remains, I will take that mortgage elsewhere. And then I will be done with your company, and you will be done with me. Or I invite you all to see me in hell. Because that's where I've been for the last 15 years.
I'm so sorry, sir.
You don't have to apologise. To be quite honest, your apology actually really, really gets on my nerves. So I would rather we keep this very straightforward. Go talk to your boss. Tell them what I've said. Tell them my offer's on the table. Or we can do this another way. And if you think dragging me through the courts is any form of bother whatsoever, there's a blog. It's online. 500 of your shitty company employees have already read it. Yeah? And I will put more publishing efforts into that. Your company has behaved like a sociopath, relentlessly pursuing me after debanking me. You have to understand that. Imagine your life, your family's lives, absolutely tipped over the edge when you basically cannot access £5 of your own money. Mentioning that, where's my 25,000 quid? You owe me £25,000 that disappeared in 2010. Take the mortgage out of that for a change. Your company cannot answer a simple question. How was I debanked? Why was I debanked? And you think that threatening me with litigation is the way forward. Really? There we are.
Right, okay. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a note of everything that we have spoke today. Let me just check with my manager what we can do about this and going forward. And maybe then you can call us next time, or we will call you next time and see what we can do about it.
Well, when I call you, I never get to talk to the same person. I've probably spoken to several hundred, if not 1,000 of your Barclays employees. I never get to the same person. Abdul Hassan, randomly enough, did ring me back from Barclays some years ago, and he said, oh my God, we have to find a way to fix this and resolve this matter. He's never rung back. He's never rung back. I've written to C.S. Venkata Krishnan, I've written to Alistair Curry, I've written to Vin Maru. I've actually worked for Barclays Bank, right, as a freelancer. And I basically didn't mention this. I didn't mention it to one of them. I mentioned all of this, and they said, oh my God, we must get someone from mortgages to talk to you. When I speak to mortgages, they can't talk to me because it's being handled by litigation. You are litigation, and you can't answer my questions. Can you see the ironic nature of this? Because I can, having lived it for 15 years.
Right, okay. So about litigation, so about 2010, so about debanking, I'm not too sure on this matter. I have to investigate him further because it has already gone too far, as I have already told you. So the complaint has been
dealt with and found in my favour, said negotiate.
But you're telling me, so yeah, go on, sir.
Yeah, the complaint was dealt with and handled and was recommended by the Ombudsman, negotiate. I've made an offer. The offer is really simple, it's really elegant. We wind the clock back to 2010 when Barclays started this matter with me. Every penny I have given you since then, so that's 14 years worth of money, gets taken off whatever the sum was then. Whatever is left becomes the new mortgage. I take it elsewhere. Or Barclays Bank imagined £100,000 worth of debt after they debanked me, which I could never pay because I didn't have a bank account. Barclays tried to get me to turn the 100 grand into a personal loan. I couldn't pay it. I didn't have a bank account. Barclays knew this, so Barclays wanted me to commit fraud, right? To crystallise a debt of £100,000. My second offer was fair enough. I will pay. We do the 2010 thing. Every penny I've paid you plus £40,000 of the imaginary debt Barclays came up with. So you're £40,000 better off. Whatever's left over, I take the mortgage elsewhere. We're done with each other. And I didn't get a reply. And my third offer was really simple. I burn the fucking house to the ground and I stream it onto your Facebook page. And then Barclays got very funny with me and sent the police round, which I thought was pretty funny because I had to explain it to them. And they said, it's a civil matter and we can't get involved. So, it's really simple. Negotiation is a two-way street. Your company, your fellow employees have never engaged with me. I've told you the facts now. The facts are really simple. And it's for you to do either the right thing or the wrong thing. But imagine you could be at the other end of the boot of your employer.
Right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to discuss this matter with my manager and let me see what we can do with because we don't have the court hearing yet. So what we have to do is discuss with the manager, discuss with TLT, the solicitors. And we can just.
I'm in a legal right. So TLT have written to me in the past, and I was in a legal claim before, and I pointed out to TLT that they were trespassing on my claim. And the last time that cost me £1 million. So if TLT wants to get in the middle of yet another court action with me, I'll add them to the claim.
Right. Basically what happens with TLT is that any kind of instruction that Barclays provides, TLT acts on their behalf.
Yeah. So, TLT sent a man round to threaten me on my doorstep. TLT sent a man, or Barclays sent a man round to threaten me on my doorstep.
It's just not to threaten you, sir. It's just the usual procedure we conduct.
To threaten people?
To understand how the customer is up to, where the customer is up to,
or
any kind of arrangement regarding the mortgage.
To threaten people. So your company policy is you send people to threaten someone, physically threaten them with violence.
As I told you, we don't threaten anybody physically.
Well, that's what's happened.
That we understand customer circumstances. That's why we issue a plea.
The circumstances were caused by Barclays Bank. You don't seem to grasp that bit. Or can't answer me, how was debanked?
Right, okay. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to raise this matter with my manager. Let me see what we can do about this.
Okay.
Can I leave a detailed note on your file, okay?
Well, fair enough. Are you going to ring me back?
So no. So
you won't ring me
back. I'm just going to leave a note on your file, okay?
Okay, fair enough. So basically no one wants to negotiate with me?
No, so we would definitely, need to look a way forward because with litigation, it's been a while since the
since you caused
has
this.
got into arrears. There is
which you caused.
£69,303.60 in arrears.
Which Barclays Bank caused. Can we at least agree on that?
I'm so sorry, sir. I would not be able to comment on this because there's already been a complaint with false which has been ruled out.
No, it hasn't. It wasn't ruled out. It wasn't ruled out, though, was it? The complaint was found in my favour. The outcome of the complaint was negotiate. Your company chooses, and you choose, not to negotiate.
Right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk to my manager about this case and
will they ring me back?
So if they have to, so we will ring you back. It's not the manager, it's the agents who ring you back. I would not promise a call back now, but I'm just going to leave a note on your file.
Fair enough. But who's the person that's going to ring back? Will they be able to negotiate? So how will I know that you will either want to negotiate or you don't want to negotiate? Do I sort of make a guess at it? It's left very vaguely.
As I told you before, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to discuss with my manager and leave a note from the file, which means there will be a decision on your file.
Okay. But how do I know what that decision is? I mean, will the person that comes
on the next review, you would get a call back from the agent.
When is that?
Okay.
When is that?
as I told you, I cannot promise you the time.
So
because
you
we have-
can. You're saying that you can make a decision and not inform me of its outcome, and then at some day later ring back whenever you choose and make up whatever decision you made up. There's no formal process to discuss this.
Right. So if you want a decision, so let me just talk to the managers and then let me see if I can call you back. Okay?
So you're going to call me back.
Yeah.
Right. And your name, I'm sorry, was?
Neil. November Echo Lima.
Okay, lovely. Well, very nice speaking with you. I'll put my phone on charge. I will await your call.
If not today, maybe tomorrow, sir.
Today,
Okay.
tomorrow, doesn't matter. I'm here all the time.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, fair enough. What's 31 minutes? I'm never going to get back. Tomorrow, Neely. Today is the third. I don't know what day is today. Today's the 3rd of December, so 4th or 5th I'll get a phone call back. And I'm going to publish this message now.